5-0 away at LAFC. It's a little bit of a mouthful after tonight.
Yeah.
So, Jason, you have opinions. They were coming out. We were sitting next to each other here at the Lost Patty. Let's take away. What's the biggest takeaway tonight?
Just drink a lot, go to bed, and forget this night ever happened.
All right. So that's not a soccer one. That's a self-manage your emotions, how to manage disappointment.
Right. If you're going to church tomorrow, pray.
That's exactly
Pray.
Right. Okay. What are we praying for, Jason?
Oh, my God. Where do we even begin?
Okay, so let's start with one. What's at the top of our list?
It's like, this, are we even going in the right direction right now? Like,
Are we even going in the right direction right now? Okay.
Right now, it doesn't seem like it.
So the direction doesn't feel good. What's the direction we're going?
I mean, this is our first loss, but like...
First MLS loss. Let's keep this in perspective. First MLS loss.
Yes, but those other games with the draws, like, they just didn't feel like good draws.
Didn't feel like good draws, but they're draws nonetheless.
Yeah.
This was not a good loss.
But we talked, like, last weekend, like, we talked about, like, hey, this is a tough environment.
And it was a win. And it was a win that wasn't even a good win, was it?
It didn't really feel like. But when we were talking about this game coming up, he's like, hey, this is going to be a tough environment. We need to, like, at least try to get a point out of here. And just, like, after that second goal, it's like the wheels just came off the train. And then you know, we got the red card for Joe. And like, that's when the bleeding is just... Yeah, the stitches are ripped off at that point.
Stitches were ripped off. There was no staunching the bleeding. Did anyone have a good game?
Probably Panico's the only one that really had a good game. I mean, like,
all right.
He had some good saves, even though, like, we were down a man, and there's really nothing else we could do at that point, you know.
Okay, so props to Elliott.
He did his best, I think.
Any particular issues tonight that stood out to you?
Everything.
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 All 11 spots. All.
Yeah, just no one looked good.
No one looked good.
No, they just did not.
No one looked good. No one looked good. So okay, who on LAFC looked good?
I don't know if anyone really impressed, but they didn't really have to.
I disagree completely. I think that Elie Sanchez looked good. I think that Tillman looked good. I think that Bouanga looked amazing against us. We're like the Washington Generals against these Harlem Globetrotters. They were bouncing balls off our butts and slam dunking on us and snapping our shorts down. Sorry.
But yeah, we were also down a man and just looked disorganized as hell too. So if we were at our best, I don't think we would have looked that bad tonight.
So if we were at our best and they played the game that they played tonight, what would have been the result?
I think we could have still lost, but I think it would have been it would have been better. We would have had a chance.
If we played our best and they played like they did tonight, it still would have been a loss.
I mean, maybe a draw would be in the cards. I mean, it's...
So you don't think that we could have, like, even if we played our best and they played that, like, kind of like, yeah, we're playing against 10 men for 30 minutes game, you still think that we would have, at the very least, best tied?
I think so tonight.
My God, Jason. So, then what's wrong? Is it people? Is it arrangement? Is it tactics? What's wrong?
I think maybe tactics, and I think this is where the Gary out people are going to come in, which it's getting louder and louder, it seems.
Yeah, it's about to. So, so I think that the Gary out crowd is about to have some ammunition tonight.
Yeah, and I kind of posted something kind of funny on Twitter. Who would get fired first, Gary Smith or Greg Berhalter? It's an interesting question.
It is an interesting question. Greg Berhalter has got the Mexico game that could probably save his career. I think that, we had this conversation a little earlier. I think that if USA wins that game against Mexico, Greg Berhalter coaches for the U.S. men's national team regardless of how they do in the Copa America.
Yeah.
He's got the U.S. job. He wins the goal. He wins this champ.
But if he loses tomorrow, and he just lays an egg in Copa, what happens?
So I think that it's down between two people, Vanny
In March.
and Jesse Marsh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is NSC Fan TV, not the U.S. Men's National Team Television. Let's get on ESPN. So okay. So right now, where we're at, do you think that we are even? Do you think that we could still compete for a playoff spot?
I don't know. I mean, the East is a very tough
East
conference.
tough.
I think the only team right now that looks worse than us is Orlando right now in the East.
And by the way, fuck you, Orlando.
Exactly.
All right. So let's end on that. Fuck you, Orlando.